Self-Improvement Network. Narrated by Scott from Exuberant Knack. It is recommended that you read the story while you listen to it with headphones. Thank you and enjoy. My name is Robert Straw, Jr., but everyone calls me Bobby for short. I'm writing down my story because someone needs to hear about this, whether they believe me or not. It all started months ago, when I was browsing the internet for anything that would catch my interest. Eventually, I came across an ad for a local motivational speaker named Elias Hutchison and his group, called the Self-Improvement Network. It said that they were always looking for new members and catered to anyone who didn't consider themselves perfect in every way. Of course that applied to me because I'm not a narcissist. So I looked into some of his sample videos to get an idea as to what this group was all about. He spoke about how the traditional education and employment systems were flawed and both make it much harder and more expensive to follow your dreams. He also said that it's easy to be lazy and blame other people for your shortcomings, but the only person that can propel you forward is yourself. The more I listened, the more I agreed. Before long, I had signed up for Elias' newsletter and was watching his videos every day without exception. There was just something about this guy that made me feel like he was speaking directly to me. All my life, I had been trying to please everyone else without stopping to think whether it would get me closer to something that I wanted. Here he was, offering to teach me how to take responsibility for my own destiny and take from life whatever I wanted from it. After about 3 or 4 weeks, I decided it was time to officially join the network. When I subscribed to the group online, I immediately got an email notifying me of the location and time that we were to meet that week. That Saturday afternoon, we gathered at a nearby high school auditorium in front of a stage with a podium in front. Elias came out from behind the curtain, and his presence was even more commanding in person. He was tall, statuesque, and in better physical shape than anyone else in the room. Yet, he never came off as if he felt superior. The way he spoke made me feel like he considered all of us to be equals. He asked if there was anyone new in the audience, and I raised my hand. Then, he asked me to stand up, introduce myself to the group, and give a brief summary of why I was there. I did, and he smiled and said that I would especially appreciate the lesson he had planned to teach us. When he began his lecture, entitled Physical Fitness, the Outer Shell of Success, I listened intently and even took notes. The message was all about how people in poor physical shape, like I was at the time, are generally unmotivated to pursue whatever makes them happy. Instead, they cling to easy comforts like fatty foods and television. But he never sounded judgmental towards those people. He simply illustrated that if they could find the right motivation within themselves, they could reshape their body and, as he put it, get hard. In retrospect, this was the first of many instances where Elias would utilize a term or phrase that could easily be converted into a sex joke by the juvenile-minded. However, no one in the group went there and I barely noticed it. He went on to say that getting in good physical shape was not only beneficial to the health of the body, but also of the spirit. Because that drive could also be used to find financial success in one's chosen career path. After the message, I asked him about a workout regimen and diet plan. He said there was a health and fitness section on his website that I could consult anytime, since I was now an official member of the network. I didn't remember seeing it when I was on there before, but I went home and found it without much trouble. The next day I started changing everything about what I ate, even going shopping for healthier and less processed foods. For the first time in a long time, I went to the gym to work out. I must have been doing something right, because I was dropping weight day after day. All the while, I watched Elias videos about getting hard and growing thick. At the next meeting, I showed off how I'd been burning fat and gaining muscle. Elias called it obtaining rich spoils and compared it to historic examples of Vikings and pirates with their plundering and thieving. About a month later, I had worked my way to a promotion and a raise. Even my boss didn't know what was different about me, but recognized that I was on my way to success. Elias was also impressed, and I asked him if there was anything I could do to be more involved with the group that had changed my life in such a positive way. He told me there was a smaller group that he was a part of that met separately and would often inspire his message for the self-improvement network meetings. Intrigued, I asked what I would need to do to join. He pulled me further aside and said that it was a clandestine group and that, in order to join, I had to swear not to breathe a word about anything that happened there to another living soul. In addition, I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement for legal reasons. I figured he just didn't want the source of his self-help secrets getting out for free, so I obliged. Elias told me that they were meeting the next night in the basement of a church that was closed for renovation.